Black suits, black cars, black. Briefcases, black sunglasses, emotionless. Faces, mechanical movements. 2. Polite or completely off. Their speech sounds rehearsed. Their tone is flat, as if learned phonetically. They ask questions that make your spine go cold. What did you see? Who did you tell? Are you sure it was real? And then they vanish, just as suddenly as they appeared. But what's even more terrifying, after they arrive, people disappear. Witnesses, victims, anyone they spoke to. Sometimes it's literal. Someone walks out of their home and is never seen again. Other times, it's different. They stay, but something inside is gone. They stop speaking. They refuse to talk. They deny what they saw. They avoid mirrors, as if something happened that can't be described in words. There's one story. A regular man, a railway worker in Nebraska, USA, one night, he saw a massive triangular object in the sky, silent and traceless. He told someone. 2 days later, 3 men in identical black suits came to his home. They didn't introduce themselves. They only said, "You were mistaken. You saw nothing." He didn't argue, he just nodded. Then he quit his job, left town, was never seen again. There are other cases, dozens, hundreds. The men in black show up after strange sightings. Security cameras catch glimpses of them, but the footage is always blurry. Police reports vanish. They knock on doors at night and say, "You need to forget what you saw." But who are they really? This is where things get interesting. Some say they're just intelligence agents, government operatives sent to suppress information about UFOs, aliens, or contacts that the public isn't ready to know. They've been spotted near crash sites and classified zones. Roswell, Area 51, Hessdalen, even Tunguska, but there are details that don't fit any official story. Many witnesses say the men in black don't act human. They don't blink, they don't breathe. Their skin is pale, almost wax-like. Their movements are synchronized, like they're linked. One moves, the others follow, and their response to basic questions or emotions is absent. What's your name? Doesn't matter. Where are you from? We are already here. In one case, a man in black walked into a cafe and ordered food. When it arrived, he just stared at it, confused. He tried to drink water, spilled it, and didn't react, as if he didn't understand how a human body works. Some say they aren't human, or not entirely human. Robots, biomechanical constructs, holograms, messengers. Messengers from whom? Some researchers claim the men in black are not individuals, but a phenomenon. They appear at the edge of worlds. They are not here to protect us. They are here to control knowledge, to limit access, to stop humanity from touching what is forbidden. They are like an antivirus program in a simulation. They detect the glitch and arrive on site. They erase the witness, wipe the memory, cover the tracks. If our world is a simulation, then the men in black are its moderators, a hidden code activated when the order is broken. Just think, why do memories vanish after meeting them? Why do witnesses begin to doubt themselves? Why do they feel as if someone rewrote their past? Like someone pressed Ctrl+Z on their lives, undid the moment, reverted reality. Harold Dahl, 1947, Washington State. He claimed to have seen a strange metallic craft hovering over the water. The next day, a man in a black suit appeared at his door and said, "You saw something you weren't supposed to. Keep quiet, for your own good." A week later, his dog died, his son nearly drowned, and his boat exploded. Coincidences? Dr. Herbert Hopkins, 1976, Maine. He was investigating a UFO case. One evening, he received a call. "I represent a group studying unidentified flying objects. May I come over?" 10 minutes later, he was at the door. Black suit, pale skin, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no emotion. During their conversation, the man took out a coin and said, "Look closely." The coin disappeared in his hand. "You and that coin will soon cease to exist." The next day, Dr. Hopkins quit all his research. Within a week, he resigned. He never spoke of UFOs again. But here's where it gets even stranger. Some of these men leave no trace, no camera footage, no fingerprints, sometimes, not even memories. Witnesses later describe a sensation as if their recollections were cut out and replaced by something foreign. And this is what disturbs the most after the men in black visit. Not. Only the evidence disappears. The witnesses themselves vanish. Some, literally. Others, psychologically. They lose their identity, their jobs, their families, as if someone turned off their inner self. But if they come to erase information, who are they erasing it for? Is this a government operation? Or something far older and beyond human comprehension? What if the men in black are not agents of power, but instruments of the system we live in? A system that deletes everything that strays from its script. Is it possible that we are actors in a play whose rules we're never meant to understand? And the men in black are the keepers behind the curtain? If you've ever asked too many questions, seen something you weren't supposed to, felt reality cracking at the edges, they might already be close. But who are these men in black, really? They're not just UFO trackers, not just shadows of the state. They appear where reality itself begins to break down. They come when someone gets too close to the truth. And they always bring one thing with them: oblivion. They have faces, but they're all the same, perfectly dressed, timeless, frozen in the fashion of the 1950s, and yet outside of time. No wrinkles, no emotion. Sometimes their skin looks like marble, too smooth, too symmetrical. In some stories, they have no eyebrows. In others, no eyelashes. People describe their voices as flat, mechanical. Some even claim their voices aren't sound, but sensation, as if the words are transmitted directly into your brain. 1967, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. A string of paranormal events would later be called the Mothman Curse. People reported seeing a winged creature with glowing red eyes. And soon after, men in black began knocking on doors. They always said the same thing: "You saw nothing. You will tell no one. For your own safety." Some witnesses vanished, others fell silent. Forever. There are photos, videos. But each time you look at them, something feels off. Faces are blurred, details fade, as if reality itself refuses to record them. And yet, they come. Without warning, without explanation. They appear when someone touches the forbidden, when someone steps too close to truth. What if these figures are not simply agents of authority? What if they are guardians of the border? They don't arrive. They manifest, like a glitch in the system. One moment, everything is normal. The next, they're standing in front of you. A train station camera malfunctions, a car breaks, down in the middle of nowhere. They walk over, they ask chilling questions, they look right through you, then everything is gone. The footage, the memory, sometimes even you. There are thousands of stories, and they all sound disturbingly similar. Men in black suits, no identity, no humanity, as if copied from the same matrix, no mistakes, just precision, and always strange, unsettling questions. Are you sure you saw that? How do you define what is real? What if you're simply dreaming? These aren't questions, they're attacks. Glitches, a virus injected into your perception of reality. And then you remember The Matrix. Not as a movie, but a warning. There, too, were men in black agents' programs protecting the system. Their job was simple: don't let the awakened wake up the others. And if our world is also a simulation, then who are these real men in black? Some ufologists believe they're agents of extraterrestrial civilizations, watching the edges of our perception. But they don't just observe. They correct, they erase anomalies, they eliminate leaks. And if someone sees too much, they arrive. Others say they are not humans at all. Not even beings in the usual sense, but something that uses the human form as a mask, an interface, a language we can perceive. They're too similar to us, and that's what's most suspicious. Their voices, their movements, their expressions, all too precise, too rehearsed, too synthetic. Who are they? Where do they come from? And what happens after they appear? Into cases that defy explanation, coincidences too precise to be random, and the people who disappeared and never came back. But above all, we'll face the question that hangs over everything. What if you've already met them, but just don't remember? Over time, it became clear. Their appearances aren't just random visits, they are events that distort reality. After encountering the men in black, witnesses often experience something strange. Memory gaps begin to appear. Surveillance footage goes missing. And some people are never heard from again. They're described differently, but one thing repeats again and again. They don't feel real, as if slightly out of focus, like holograms or characters not fully rendered in a simulation. Some researchers suggest these figures aren't from our time or even from our dimension. What if the men in black don't hide the truth about aliens, but the truth about reality itself? 1999, The Matrix was released. It wasn't just science fiction, it became modern philosophy. In that film, a man discovers his entire world is an illusion. And those who guard the system? Programs, enforcers designed to protect the lie. Now imagine the men in black are the same. They're not fighting UFOs, they're erasing glitches in the code. Someone accidentally sees a crack in the simulation, they come. Someone records a creature that shouldn't exist, they come. Someone remembers a version of the world that was overwritten, they come. Their job is simple. Don't let the system collapse, but there's a darker version of the story. What if they're not agents of the Matrix, but something above it? Observers, those who run the simulation like an experiment, the men in black, as operators of a game we don't know we're inside. And we? Just characters, unaware we're being watched. Have you ever felt someone was watching you? That someone else was in the room, though you were alone? That the thought you just had didn't quite feel like your own? Maybe it's not paranoia. Maybe that's their job. And here's the most frightening thought of all. Maybe the men in black don't come when someone discovers a secret, but when someone gets too close to the truth. Maybe they don't come to scare you. Maybe they come when it's already too late to turn back. And maybe their true purpose isn't to observe, but to rewrite, to erase, to rename events, to rewrite memories. And then the people who had them, and you won't notice. You'll come home, place your keys on the table, fall asleep, and wake up someone slightly different. No one remembers what you said yesterday. No one notices you're quieter, that you've stopped believing what you once believed. You were warned. Then, overwritten. Sometimes, the men in black are seen at the scenes of tragedies, after plane crashes, after disasters, after military incidents. They don't speak to police, they don't identify themselves, they don't ask, they simply appear. And then, everything changes. Evidence vanishes. Witnesses start contradicting themselves or vanish entirely, as if reality itself has undergone an update. Some researchers suggest the men in black aren't agents, they're bugs. Glitches in the Matrix autonomous program sent to fix anomalies. You talk about UFOs. They come and reset the conversation. You film something. Impossible. They arrive and take the device. You start suspecting the world isn't what it seems. And then he appears. Tall, pale, wearing a hat, a face too smooth to be real, and says, "You were mistaken. It was a hallucination. Forget it." And here, we reach the most terrifying hypothesis. What if we've all already met them, but just don't remember? They came. They erased, they deleted from memory, from history, from reality. That's why you feel unexplained anxiety. That's why, during moments of intuition, you suddenly sense, I've forgotten something. Something important. Maybe you didn't forget. Maybe you were forgotten. In the archives of the CIA and other intelligence agencies, there are dozens of reports describing strange encounters, too strange to be officially explained. Here's one from 1973. A group in Idaho claimed to see a glowing object over a lake. The next day, one of them disappeared. The others started changing their story. Another, from Wales in 1982, 3 teenagers reported seeing a strange creature in the woods. Soon after, they were visited by men in black suits, speaking in archaic English. A week later, none of them remembered the creature or the men. These stories don't make headlines. They sink beneath the dust of classified reports. But they exist. If the men in black are a program, who runs it and why? One chilling answer is this: to preserve the illusion, keep our world from cracking, to ensure no one sees the fracture in the sky. They are like an automatic self-defense system, appearing when someone gets too close to the edge. Some believe they arrive when awareness awakens, when a person starts seeing beyond reality. But if you stare into the abyss stares back into you. And if you search for the truth begins searching for you until one day it knocks on your door, and if you open it, what then? What if they come for you? What will you say? What will you choose? To forget or to remember? And are you ready for this? Once you know the truth, you might disappear. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and feel like someone was there. No sound, no light, no proof. But you know, you feel it. Someone stood by your bed, watching, not breathing, waiting. You turn on the light, no one. Open the door, empty. But the feeling stays. As if you were examined, as if you got too close to something you were never meant to know. And they came not to kill, but to erase the trace of your awakening. Now imagine this. You've lived a life, work, home, family, dreams. But lately, memories begin to return. Dreams too vivid, coincidences too precise. Thoughts enter your mind, but you don't know where they came from. And one day, walking down the street, you spot a face in the crowd. Unreal, emotionless, too smooth. He looks straight at you, and in that moment you understand. You're not the person being watched. You are the glitch that must be erased. Now imagine something even more terrifying. What if we all are glitches? Every person who ever asked too many questions felt something beyond the veil, saw in a dream what shouldn't exist. We're not victims, we're errors, flaws in the grand code that must remain perfect. And for us in the correctors come. Do you feel it? The shiver on your skin? That's not fear, that's recognition. You know, somewhere deep inside, you've always known. Now answer this. If they knock on your door tomorrow, will you open it? We love to believe we understand reality, that we can sort the world neatly into boxes. Faith, science, psychology, logic. But those are just filters, layers through which we try to observe something that was never meant to be understood. The men in black, they're not just legend, they are a mirror, a strange, distorted, terrifying reflection of the border between us and the unknown. Maybe they're not aliens, not agents of a system, maybe they are reality's response when someone begins to see too much. Like in The Matrix, not everyone is ready to take the red pill. And certainly, not everyone survives it. So now, the final question, what if one day you wake up and it's too quiet? No calls, no messages, no people, just you. And a silhouette in a black suit standing in the corner of your room. What will you do? Will you ask, who are you? Or will you remember that somehow you always knew the end or just the beginning?